Good morning, YouTube friends and family, and welcome to today's edition of the Wellness Homesteader. It's a chilly one here. It's in the 40s, but you know, winter is a-coming. We've been very spoiled here in Ohio with a warm fall. So I'm just giving my car a moment to warm up, and then we are going to head out because I need to do some fabric shopping for a project that I've been promising that I haven't gotten around to doing. But we're going to go to Walmart because it's less than half the distance to the nearest fabric store, and our Walmart has a pretty good size craft section. So off we go. Now I'm sitting at a stop sign. I'm not driving and filming, but just to give you an idea how different things look here in the winter. Ohio in this area is very flat, and the corn has been harvested. I've passed quite a few fields of winter wheat, and there's a car pulling up behind me, so I'm gonna have to turn. But yeah, lots of grain bins that are full and ready for winter sales. So y'all, I'm sitting at the oil change place. If y'all remember my funny story from last time, I wait in line, so I'm here. They open at 10. It's like 2 minutes till, so first in line. I waited in all that line, and then they're like, we're sorry, we don't have oil. Wait, what? You're an oil change place, and you don't have oil. And my car uses, I have a LaCrosse, which they don't make anymore. It's made by Buick, and it's a 2019. Oops, here comes the first feller in with his big gulp. But most newer cars like this take synthetic oil. You know, not just your 5W30. I don't know a lot about cars. So instead of them, you know, coming through and scanning everybody's car, you know, the little VIN number, which will pull you up on the computer, tell them what, you know, how long it's been, what you usually get. No, they just let us sit here. And I know the fellows that, well, there's ladies too, that have always worked here are gone. So I'm sure they're having their own staffing troubles. Like, you know, you need a sign or something, like put a cardboard sign up that says, we are out of synthetic oil or something. So if they don't have it today, I'm going to find a different place to get my oil changed. I've always liked the service that I've gotten here because they check everything. But, you know, I can change too. So then we will head to Walmart. So while we're waiting here, got to show you I've still got my seatbelt on. It's showing up backwards to me, but it's actually a Christmas shirt. And it's from National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. And it says, "You serious, Clark?" You know, you get it, right? I actually have pajamas that say it too. So I'll leave a link in the description box. But I was feeling festive with my Santa hats and my red headband and a little bit of makeup today, not a whole bunch. I was gone all day yesterday with some obligations, so that's partly why I didn't have a video up for Saturday. You know, sometimes, guys, I just get busy with things going on in my life, and I don't always get to a video. So let me sign off here for right now. I wonder how long it'll take them to open up. It's 10:01. Let's get busy, boys. All right, guys. See you soon. 15-minute oil change, and now we're in Walmart. I always check this aisle, the candy making, decorating aisle, because a lot of times they're melting wafers, which I use when I do gift baskets. You know, I'll dip pretzels, etc. Can be on sale, and sometimes even on clearance. I'm not seeing that today, but they have a lot of interesting flavors like fruity cereal, dark chocolate, raspberry, cookie dough, white, etc. So we'll pass on that today. I also found that Walmart has a great selection of trims and embellishments, and I have some of this rickrack that we'll be using to create our runner, but for $1 I can't read the writing. 75, 76. I don't know. Oh, wait. No. It's 344. They're just numbering, I guess. But this is 4 yards. It's made by Simplicity, and this is going to be perfect for our table runner. So let's move on and take a peek at the fabric. If you've never shopped at Walmart, they have a lot of pre-cuts. Now, generally, this is felt, so thankfully I have enough felt. But they have lots of burlap, and then down here on the end, they have the 1 yard pre-cuts of seasonal fabrics. They still have some Halloween out here. What I'm actually looking for is 2 yards. So, and I want to see if they have any interfacing type stitch and tear, but I'm not sure that they do. They even have 2 yards of diaper cloth if you want to make your own diapers. That's a little ambitious for me, but lots of fusible interfacing. I have some, but I like the stitch and tear if I'm going to embroider, but I can do it without it as well. So let's take a look at the fabric, see if we can find any 2 yard pre-cuts, which are usually on up down the aisle. I'm hoping I can talk over the music. So these are the 2 yard pre-cuts. They're 100% cotton, so they are going to shrink. I have 2 projects, 2 runners that I want to do. So I need a neutral that will go behind white. I need a blue and probably a green of sorts. I can't tell if that's green or not. I know that's green. So let me do a little perusing and I'll show you what we pick out. So y'all, I decided on white, a pink, a green, and a blue. And these are $6.74, and even on sale at Joann Fabric, their cotton fabric was $4 a yard. So I'm saving a little bit of money. And it's nice that it's all pre-cut. I don't have to wait for them. I decided to come down this aisle, it's primarily sewing notions, threads, etc. And they do have the heat and bond. They have the light sewable or the ultra hold double-sided adhesive. So when you're doing an applique, so if you remember the pattern, there were ornaments that I want to applique onto a fleece. This being sewable and this being no sew, this is probably more what I need. It is $8.47. There's 4 17-inch by 1.25 yard sheets, so this will last me the rest of my natural lifetime. But I actually have a couple projects I want to do, so we're gonna invest in some light sewable heat. No, I don't get out very much, right? I can't pass a display of these tap socks, fuzzy socks with the grippers, because I always got my mom a whole bunch for Christmas, because sometimes they wouldn't come back from the laundry or you would only get one at the facility. But you know, old habits die hard. That caught my eye and I was like, oh, I'll get some for mom. But where mom is now, she has warm feet and doesn't have to worry about falling down and needing no-slip socks. Y'all keep me honest, because I'm not buying anything, but I had to look a little bit at the Christmas decor. And Walmart stepped up their game. They have some more modern looking houses, trees, you know, just very simplistic. And then the very fun, if you're into that kind of a look, I like a colorful Christmas. A pink reindeer in case you're in need. A blue glassed, I don't think that's a it might be glass wool. That's unique. Some psychedelic reindeer, $7.97. Very cute up to snow goods, $7.97. And y'all, I could fill my cart quite easily. This is really cute, a vintage style countdown. Love these, kind of a Swedish look. They are $11.98 and the smaller is $9.98. Very vintage style reindeer. or deer, $3.98. Those are super cute. Let's see what else I can show you all. Some pink. I like a pink and blue Christmas. Lots of these glass trees. Lovely. And this one's pretty as well, if you're into the nutcrackers. Sweet little reindeer. This says Joy for $12.98. Scarf stand. Okay, I don't know what that means. Scarf sit. Oh, this one's missing its scarf, I see. Okay, well that explains it. I'm like, why would you put your scarf on the reindeer? So y'all, I better get out of these aisles. Keeping myself honest here, just have my sewing supplies, and let's go head to the checkout. All right, y'all. Amazing that you can have one little bag and spend $51.90. What I will share with you is 7 of that was the lidocaine patches I'm using for my shoulder. And I also purchased the green. I purchased a 3-yard length. And then this is our interfacing or fusible interfacing, I guess you would call it. So, yes, you could probably buy a lot of things already pre-made for whatever, $41, let's just say. But these, I hope, will be some family keepsakes. Yeah, there was a lot of sick people in Walmart. I'm like, oh my word. So I'm gonna baptize myself in some Grove blood orange hand sanitizer, including wiping off my phone. I'm not a germaphobe, but y'all, not being out in the work world and exposed to a lot of germs, I feel like I'm more susceptible, and I don't do vaccines, I don't do flu vaccines, etc. So I want to be extra careful. So just a little word about why I'm choosing to make these runners, so to speak. My son is going to be 40 in January. He is not one to decorate. He also doesn't like things hanging on the wall, oddly enough. But everybody has, he's more of a clean line minimalist than I am. However, my son is deeply, deeply sentimental. And I don't know if my son will, he's never been married, has no children. I don't know if that will ever change. But what I'd like to hope is, you know, he, or I'm sorry, maybe other of my living, I'm about to burn up, living family members who outlive me might enjoy something handmade by me. Plus, I just plain old enjoy doing it. So what are we going to do? Y'all, we're not sewing today. So I haven't decided. I think this will just be one long video, but it's going to be filmed over 2 days. This is why I'm never ahead. I'm going to go home and share with you how I pre-wash my fabric. So this is 100% cotton. It will shrink. And what we don't want to happen is to have to wash something that's a table runner because we got food or whatsoever on it, and then the backing shrink up and distort all of our hard work, right? So let's drive on home. I spend my life in the car, I feel like sometimes, but that's okay. Let's get on home, and I'm going to share with you how I am going to wash, dry, and prepare these for our sewing tomorrow, which will just be a minute for you. Y'all, I apologize. My heat just cut on, and my furnace is right here. I'm in the laundry room. So what I did was I took all the fabric off the spools, so to speak, and I am going to do it on a quick wash because it's not that the fabric is dirty, it's that I want it to soften up and get some of the excess sizing out. And then because I'm not sure of the color fastness, put that on the grocery list. I love these Shout color catchers. So you just throw one in your washing machine, and if anything is going to fade, I will be washing it on cold water. But anyway, it will suck it up and it prevents things, pardon me, from bleeding. So very small amount of laundry soap. It's not a very big load. I am going to use some fabric softener and hold to start. And I will see you all in just a moment for you, but I will see you all tomorrow. I'm going to wash it, fully dry it, and take it upstairs where the ironing board is in preparation for doing the project tomorrow. So I'll see you then. All right, y'all. Exciting times. It's time to turn my idea into a table runner, or as I'm calling it, a stereo scarf. So yesterday I washed and dried all of my backing fabric because I'm going to be doing a few projects, not all of them on this video, just this one. I pressed everything off, and then I very carefully cut the dimension that I wanted. I'm doing a 15 by 45, which will make it 14 by 44. Works well with the width of the cotton fabric because it's 45 inches wide. One of the things I am doing is I'm going to go ahead and sew those two pieces together, right sides together, allowing an opening of about this much, and then we will turn it and press it. You could use whatever seam allowance suits you. I'm going to use a 1/2 inch. You can use 5/8. Because the fleece or the felt material has quite a bit of bulk, I don't want great big seams, and we will be trimming the corners. So I'll show you my fancy dancy if you're new to the channel. My fancy dancy sewing machine here. So this is like my 3rd or 4th Husqvarna. I just find their machines to be top quality. This is a Designer Epic 2, so it does all the fancy embroidery. It does everything but make your bed and wash your dishes. I don't mind washing dishes. If it would dust, it would be amazing. So I'm just going to stitch around, and what I will say, this machine has a feature, try to tip you up, it's so hard to give you a good angle, of fix. You can also tell the needle stay down, don't pop back up out of the fabric. And because we're going to be putting some stress on it when we turn it, I definitely want a good, sturdy, either back stitch or knotted seam. So you'll see it go up and down in the same spot. And I'm not going to show you the whole stitching. Alternatively, you can back stitch over that same stitching. And then I am just going to sew all the way around. And if y'all are sewing this, yeah, if you're sewing this, well, if you're sewing this or if you're watching this, I'm simply sewing in a straight line. I cannot speak today. Keeping it lined up with this mark right here, which you can't see, but there are marks on the faceplate. I'll pivot at the corners. When I get it all done, we'll turn it. I'm going to cut the corners. So in other words, I'll cut the corners diagonally to keep that bulk out of the corners so the corners can be a little sharper. Then we'll turn it and press it, and then we can start deciding what kind of appliques we're going to put on. The other reason I decided to go ahead and sew the runner, I mean, it's obviously going to be one-sided because on the back side, what we'll show is all of our embroidery, or it's not always called embroidery. What's it called? Appliquing. But I don't plan to reverse it, so we're fine. But it will also create a little bit of depth because we're sewing through 2 layers, even though one of which is full thin cotton. Oh Lord, I hope this isn't the day I'm gonna have. All right, guys, let me get to sewing. Another tip, if you have trouble getting your corners to come out sharp, you will get to the point where you can eyeball 1/2 inch. We're not quite there. So let's take a couple more stitches. And it seems like this wouldn't work, but take 1 or 2 stitches on the diagonal and then turn your fabric, and your corners will be sharper. All right, so when I tell you I'm going to cut the corners, you don't want to cut clear to the stitching, just fairly close, and that takes a lot of bulk out. so that you get a smoother, wow. I changed threads this morning. You get a smoother corner. And then, because this is white on white, you want to make sure you get any, you know, loose threads or fraying cut off so it doesn't show through your final product. All right, y'all, we're all pressed up. And as you remember, we've still got this open area. You just press the edges under. And I want to add this lovely pink pom-pom trim, I guess you would call it. So in order to do that, I need to zigzag it on there. And yeah, I think this thing's so fancy smancy that sometimes it's, oops, hard to. Okay, so I'm going to narrow my stitch width to about 5, and rather than to have it this way, I'm going to have it this way. It's a more finished edge. One thing I will say, this is going to be kind of slow going simply because you have to keep flipping the pom-poms. I'm not going to pin it. In order to pin it, I would have to do it vertically, and you don't want to sew over, obviously, a vertical pin. So let's get this started. And I did change my threads to pink here. So let me see if I can show you a little better what this looks like. So here we go. So let's get it anchored down with a fix. Okay, and let me get a couple inches sewn here, and I'll show you what we're looking like. It's definitely good. I started out with a whiter stitch, and I did not like it at all. Okay, so the pinks are the same color. This is firmly attached. Don't have to worry about that. It's going to take me a little bit to get all the way around. Excuse all the open drawers. Had to hunt up the trusty seam ripper. And a lot of my sewing supplies are even, I have things from when I took sewing in home ec when I was 12. So they're genuine antiques. And I also have some of my mom's things. So let me get busy sewing here. Frankie's going to love the fringe. It's Frankie fringe. All right, guys. See you shortly. Fringe on. Sorry about the threads here. Do not recommend this. It's very difficult to sew with, and the little strings want to get stuck on the presser foot. Darling when you get it, you know, all finished, but I've pressed it. I'm going to take a break. Just be a second for you. And we'll get on to the decorative part. All right, y'all. This is going to end up being part 1 of 2. So the next video, we'll be cutting out these different shaped ornaments. Here's the long one. And appliquing them will be, woo, here looks really good, doesn't it? We'll be putting some rickrack, much like this is, and finishing up our table runner. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video, y'all. I have some things I have to do, and that fringe took me a lot longer than I thought. So I'm going to have to stop for now, but I will be back a little bit later this week. So stay tuned for that. If you do me a big favor, go ahead and smash that like button. Drop me a comment below. What is your favorite type of sewing project? Do you prefer home dec, a crafty item, or clothing? What's your favorite? All right, guys, until I see you again, be healthy, be well, be blessed, and take care.